All right, it is Monday, October 26th. We've got an old school edition, so no road trip for everybody today. But we had an absolutely jam-packed weekend, and I'm excited to bring some news for you. Number one, something that I was really surprised about was you got the Cowboys and the Washington football team last night, and Andy Dalton took a terrible hit. Bostic hit him, clearly targeting, ejected. I'm sure there will be a fine. They said suspension is unlikely. I think for a league that needs to be caring about its players and a league that needs to be standing up for its players, there should at least be a 1-game, 2-game suspension at minimum. And I think that that's just a not caring about the Cowboys. And I know that if there's rumors about a suspension being unlikely, then Jerry's going to go and fight for his guys because that's the type of owner he is. And every player, as much shit as Jerry takes all the time, players should want to play for Jerry because he cares. He's always cared. All right, along with that as well, Washington smoked the Cowboys, so that was nuts. And also, shout out to Dan Orlovsky because he was exactly right. Once Andy Dalton was hit and his helmet came off because of how hard the hit was against him and the ground and his shoulder, none of his Cowboys teammates did anything. That's something where you need to be jumping on the pile and immediately start throwing hands. I don't care what happens. And I might be taking it a step farther. Push him, hit him, something like that. That can't just go away like without anything. I mean, that means that not only are you getting stomped on the field, but you are going to let these guys physically stomp you, too, while they're at it. So, that was crazy. Hopefully, we'll see a suspension. Hopefully, we are wrong. Number two, Sunday Night Football does not disappoint when it has the Seahawks. Never, never, never disappoints. An overtime heater. It was worth staying up late for. So Russell Wilson had a pass to DK Metcalf that was the game-winning pass. DK went in for the touchdown. It was called back. Next play, throws an interception, and then the Cardinals kick it, take a win, right off into the sunset. So a huge win for the Cardinals that had previously lost to the Lions. So I don't know if it's a compliment to the Lions that says, hey, you know what, they're stepping up, they're playing well, or if it is an affront to the Cardinals. But regardless, Cardinals are back in the win column, and that's what they needed. This team is moving. That now leaves the Steelers as the only undefeated team left in the NFL, sitting at 6-0 after they dethroned the Titans. And I'm not really going to call that a dethroning simply because the Tennessee kicker couldn't make kicks. And I think Vrabel's going to have a lot to say about that with him as well. So watch out for that because there may be some personnel changes inside the Tennessee locker room because that was a winnable game, or at least a game that could have gone to overtime, and then it's any person's game after that. So who knows? I think that Tennessee should be disappointed, rightfully so. But keep in mind, though, the NFC West is the best division in football. I mean, you've got the Seahawks, you've got the Cardinals. This was an interdivisional play. You've got the Niners. So those are some of your bigger juggernauts that you've got over there. And it's going to be good to see how it comes down to because 49ers are picking back up. When Jimmy G was bad and Kittle was hurt, it was a really rough time, but they picked it right back up where they need to. Number three, we had Game 5 in the World Series, and the Dodgers have taken a 3-2 lead. What I love about this is the one time that the Dodgers can win is when Kershaw is doing what he's supposed to do. If they win, to me, this will shake the Kershaw. And if it does, then Clayton has shaked it right off onto glass now because these guys are so good, and they're coming out for Game 1, then they're coming back out here now. And to have Glass now do that 2 games in a row, it's devastating for Rays fans because they know exactly what he can do. They've been watching him in the regular season. They've watched him in the playoffs. They know that he's so much better than the 2 games in the World Series where he has, really just terrible performance. And maybe that's also a compliment to the Dodgers hitting because they paid Mookie Betts when they should have. And they have Cody Bellinger. So, of course, that's not to be a knock on the Dodgers offense because it is incredible. But, something has to be said when a pitcher continues to give up a ton of runs in the World Series. That's it. And I believe that is Glasnow's first trip, so maybe there's some jitters. You never know. Number 4, the Big Ten was back. And boy, was it back. I mean, winners just win. Wisconsin, Ohio State, and even outside of the Big Ten, Bama won, Clemson won, Notre Dame won, Oklahoma State won. All your big dogs won. The only game that was an upset, Indiana, the dive, just the tip. A lot of discussion. I think we could have all agreed, though, that whatever the call on the field was, whether it was a touchdown or down at the half-yard line, that was going to stick. They were not going to overturn that, whatever it was. I truly believe that when the ball touched the ground, that the tip was over the white. Just me. I could completely see the other way for it. Maybe I'm missing an angle. Maybe I didn't do enough research. But, again, Indiana comes out with a win. So now Penn State can say that they have a chip on their shoulder. And guess who they have come into town next week? Ohio State. It's going to be a great must-watch game because Ohio State really struggled in the first half against Nebraska. And maybe it's because they didn't get any preseason. But they were able to put their foot down, put the foot on the throat, foot on the gas for the second half. Absolutely torched them in the second half. Wasn't even a game. But Penn State will be a much better opponent. And frankly, the team that people think are the only ones that can trip up Ohio State in the regular season until they get to the conference championship. Simple as that. So we'll see about that. And then finally, number 5, Monday Night Football preview. Rams, Bears, Goff, Foles. Is going to be a quarterback matchup. The Rams have more firepower. The Bears have better defense. We'll see. Let me look this up right now for everybody. I'm gonna do a little right before we close. I'm gonna do something for you guys. Let's see here. Okay, Rams -6, Bears +6. Boom. I was 4-1 last weekend on picks. The pod did really well, so ride us while we're hot. Why not? It's been Monday, October 26th. I'm grateful for you all. You can find us at DH Podcast, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, Apple, wherever you want to find content, wherever you want to find podcasts. We are there. Thank you all. We will catch up with you on Wednesday.